All right. Making a little video regarding the end of the chapter. We were talking today about understanding and responding to emotions, social referencing, emotional understanding, empathy and sympathy. And we got through temperament and development. We hit the easy, the difficult, and the slow to warm up child. And just wanted to make a quick video about development of attachment. Kind of direct you to a couple elements in the text. So the first thing is just looking at attachment. This is strong, affectionate tie that we have with special people in our lives that leads us to experience pleasure and joy when we interact with them and to be comforted in their nearness in times of stress. As we become more attached to people, we have more of a connectedness and we get benefit from being around them. And we don't want it to be extreme attachment like codependence, but we also don't want it to be completely separate where we can't get that connection. So there's a fine line with some of this. Now, one of the major theories of attachment is Bowlby's ethological theory. One of the main pieces with this is, according to Bowlby, the infant's relationship with the parent begins as a set of innate signals that call the adult to the baby's side. So this is initial trust versus mistrust from Erickson. This is, I cried because I had a dirty diaper, and my parent or caregiver did come and change me and meet my needs, or no caregiver came, I sat in this dirty diaper and cried until I just gave up. I don't trust that I'm going to get what I need. Or I do trust that I'm going to get what I need. And that's kind of groundwork in that initial phase of attachment, at least. So over time, true affectionate bond forms, supported by new emotional and cognitive capacities, as well as by a history of warm and sensitive care. Attachment develops in 4 phases. The first is pre-attachment phase from birth to 6 weeks. Built-in signals, grasping, smiling, crying, and gazing into the adult's eye help bring newborn babies into close contact with other humans. Babies of this age recognize their own mother's smell, voice, and face, but they are not yet attached to her, since they do not mind being left with an unfamiliar adult. Stage 2, we look at attachment in the making phase, 6 weeks to 6 to 8 months. During this phase, infants respond differently to a familiar caregiver than to a stranger. The baby will smile, laugh, and babble more freely with a mother than it will with a stranger. As infants learn that their own actions affect the behavior of those around them, they begin to develop a sense of trust. Trust versus mistrust again. The expectation that the caregiver will respond when signaled, but they still do not protest when separated from the caregiver. Third phase, clear-cut attachment, 6 to 8 months to 18 months to 2 years. Now attachment to the familiar caregiver is evident. Babies display separation anxiety, as seen in the first weeks of preschool, as I mentioned in class this morning. The first day, oftentimes, kids will melt down, but usually within the first week. I know my daughter, the first day, she didn't shed a tear, which kind of made mom and dad a little upset. But we went back day 2, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, I don't want you to go. So there was maybe a novelty element that got her pushed out the door, maybe a wrong way of saying it, but made her happy to engage. Like stranger anxiety, separation anxiety does not always occur. It depends on infant temperament and the current situation. But in many cultures, separation anxiety increases between 6 and 15 months, suggesting infants have developed a clear understanding that the caregiver continues to exist when not in view. Besides protesting the parent's departure, older infants and toddlers try hard to maintain her presence. They approach, follow, and climb on her in preference to others. And they use the familiar caregiver as a secure base from which to explore. Fourth one, formation of a reciprocal relationship. That's 18 months to 2 years. By the end of the 2nd year, rapid growth in representation and language enables toddlers to understand some of the factors that influence the parents coming and going and to predict her return. So by this point, with a 4 and a 6-year-old, when I have to leave and do work, or even when I come back to my room in this new age and begin doing work, my kids go, oh, daddy's going to work. They understand I'll be back. They even know where they can go and find me now. When I'm in the office, before all the social distancing, they would ask my wife if they could call me. They know that I'm coming back. They say, when are you going to be home, Daddy? When I see you? So we have this reciprocal relationship that's been formed. And there's an expectation that even when parents leave, they come back. And that's a major piece of attachment, being comfortable with that. I am going to start a part 2 so I can get through the rest of attachment, but you will have to click on a new link.